Hi friends, welcome to webcam. So in this video, I am going to discuss approval flow in Power Automate. So how it works. So normally the way we start flow, we can select what kind of flow you want to create, and then you can select the trigger also when you want to trigger the flow. Right now, what is the approval flow? So approval flow is a structured process, meaning wherever you want a review of any request, and based on the review someone may take a decision whether to approve or reject or do something else, or maybe he can respond with the comments, right? So that kind of things, when you want to handle in Power Automate or in your business process, so you can use the approval flow. So it is a structured process where a request is sent to one or more peoples for review, and they can approve, reject, or comment, and the flow continue based on their response. Right. So how it works, how flow will continue, because we will use the conditional expressions there. So what will be the key component? First of all, you should use the trigger. If you want to trigger this automatically, use the trigger accordingly. Then add the step or action called start and wait for the approval. Obviously, you need to wait for the approval. Then conditions, check the outcome, whether the approval is approved or rejected. And then perform the actions. What kind of actions you may want to do? You may want to send an email, you may want to update a record, or you may want to perform any other kind of things here in Power Automate. Right. So you can perform accordingly. So there are types of approvals. So first type is like approve, reject, first to respond, meaning flow continue after the first response. Then there is something called approve, reject. Everyone must approve. So all assigned approvers must approve for it to proceed. Meaning it will wait until all the approvers approve the same, approve that request. Okay. Then custom responses, wait for the one. You can define the custom options that need a revision, or wait for one reply, kind of things you can do. So we will explore one by one everything. Okay. So custom responses, wait for all approvers to respond with the custom options. Right. So many options you can customize. By default, option is approve or reject, and then comment. But you can customize your options also. Right. So how to start with the flow? So we will start with the flow. Let's take an example. What we will do here is we will create a Microsoft form. Okay, we will use Microsoft Forms, and we will create one simple form. And when someone, or we can like create a leave request form for an employee, that will go to the manager, right? That will go to the manager, and then based on the manager response, you may send an email whether the request is approved or not, and manager has to be mentioned in the comment that why the request is not approved, right? So all those things you may want to add in the email, and if the request is approved, you may want to store that record somewhere, right? Somewhere. Then you can perform the update option, or you can use the add options, update row, add row, kind of actions you can use. So let's create a form first, because we need a form. So let me say office forms. Okay, Microsoft Forms. Just search for it. It will open this portal. This here you can create a new form. So I will say employee leave request form. Right. If you want to add the description, you can add the description. I don't want to start, so I don't want to add description. I'll just start with the text box. The question is like employee ID. Okay. This should be required. I'll make that compulsory. Again, I will say leave date. Okay, so this will work for 1 day. If I want to add more, how I can do? Okay, let it be. This should go with the 1 day. But if I delete this, if I say choice, text, rating, sections, ranking, upload file, okay, date. So let's continue with the leave date, single day request, and if someone wants to specify, so I will say reason for leave, right? So this is how the form is designed. Okay, so this is auto saved. So this form is saved when I created this form. If I go and if I click on this collect responses, this will be the link. If I copy the link, if I paste the link here, so you will be able to see the form and submit option, right? So you can submit. Okay, let me try opening the form and how it works. Okay, so we can explore the option. So here, this will just allow you to select the single day. Okay, so I would like to say I need a leave on 22nd July. My employee ID is like 1000 10001. Okay, and reason for leave is, the reason for leave is test. And you can click on this submit button. This data will be saved somewhere. Okay, where the data will be saved, we will see that. That is fine. Right. So this is our form. Let's keep the form running, because we need to use that link for the testing purpose. Now I will come here and I will say what kind of flow you want to create. So obviously this should be automatic. When someone click on the submit button, this flow should be triggered, right? So I will say leave approval flow. Right. Here trigger is like, you can select the trigger. You can see all this. When I select the cloud or automated cloud flow, you can see these kind of options. So I will say when a new response is submitted, Microsoft form, when an item is created, SharePoint. I don't want to go with the SharePoint. I don't know. I want to go with the Microsoft form. Okay, what I did, I simply selected action or a trigger, I can say, right? So here leave request form. This is what the form name I have to select. ID it will pick automatically. Okay. So I selected form. Now, once this form is submitted, what I want to do is I want to raise an request, or I want to send a request for approval. So you can search for the approval. If you come here, there is something called, this is the connector standard approvals, right? And here you can see the create an approval, start and wait for an approval, wait for an approval, start and wait for approval of text. So I will select this. Okay. So here you can see what kind of options you have here. Everyone must approve first to respond. Okay. Someone should respond first, then flow will continue. Otherwise, flow will wait here. Okay. Custom responses you can create. So we will see. And sequential approvals also we will see later. So this is what the option I selected first to respond. Okay. What will be the title for this approval? So leave request. Right. This is the leave request. Who raised? So you may want to get the data. So this will give us this response ID. Means that this response ID is not going to give the details about anyone. Right. So what you need to do is you need to get the details. So go to the forms. So like forms and get response details. Right. What kind of response they have submitted, how we will get the details. So response ID is equals to response ID. Here we will get the details. Now I'll come here. And now if I go back, here you can see this is the employee ID. So now from get details, I can see employee ID, leave date, reason, okay, responder email, email address of responder who submitted the form, right? So what kind of details you want, you will be able to get that. So I will say, I would like to use the employee ID here, right? And then to whom it should assign, to whom it should assign, right? So if you want to get the manager details, you need to build the expression. Or you may need to feed the data from external file based on the email ID of employees. So it's completely depends how you want to create or run the flow. So let's say I'll make this static at this moment. Okay. So we may have the connectors here to get the manager details. Okay. So there is an action called get manager. So if I come here and if I say get manager, so this action is associated with Office 365 users, right? So here, okay, let's sign in because this is required. Until you give the permission, it will not allows you to get. So use, or what you can say, or UP and off. Okay. So I can say the email ID of responder, right? Who is going to submit the form? I would like to get the details, select field, and okay, I don't want to do this. Let me clear. So I just passed responder email ID here to get the manager details. Now what I will do is, again here I will go and I will say about me, birthday, get manager, city, company name. Okay, there are 30. Company name, department, display name, given name, hire date, ID. So you can see the options, what kind of options you are getting, but how I can user principal name. So I want to get the details like manager, mail ID, or if I pass the details of UPN. Okay. So if I search for the email, get manager mail, what it returns, even you're not sure, but let's select, or you I can use the user principal name. This name is again get manager v2 body user principal name. Okay, this will give us the email ID. Let's try with this. Then details. If you want to add anything, you can add anything. Item link. If you want to add item link, you can add. Or form ID, I can add. Form response ID. Okay, if you want to add, you can add. So now item link description not needed, right? So this is how details are filled, not save. Okay. When we submit the form, this data should go somewhere and sit. Right? The data will be saved somewhere. Let me refresh this. So now I have two forms, employee leave request form. If I come here, okay. So if I go to the view responses and okay, share to collect the responsibility. This is not what I'm looking. I will say collect response, add channel. Okay, not needed. This is fine. Okay, maybe I need to submit this form first to see the data. Right. So what I will do is I will use this link and I will submit the form. Okay, so this is what the form I created. I will say submit. Okay, so here save my response and okay. So when I come here, fill the form, open, remove from recent. One response received. If you come, okay, so you can see one response is received. And let's review this data. Open in Excel. Okay, open result in Excel. This option is enabled just now. Or you can download a copy. So what I will do is I will open the Excel. So how the data, how the form is saved in Excel or whatever the form you filled, how the data is filled, you can see. So internally, what it does, it automatically creates one Excel to collect the response of the form, right? So I submitted. This is what the email ID. I submitted this form. This is what the email ID. This is what this and this. Okay, fine. So completion time, come start time, and this is the form ID, and this is what the details field. Okay, this is again coming automatically because I fill name, employee ID, and due date. But this is picked based on the users, right? And this is what I passed to get the details of manager. Maybe I don't know even the manager is set up for this account or not. So this is fine. So we are able to get the response. Okay, let me make this Excel available on our local also. So we can do that, but okay. So if I come here, okay, so you can see this Excel is created sometime before, right? Automatically, it syncs. OneDrive syncs, right? So we are able to submit the form. Now we have not started the flow. That's why. Okay, the approval is not yet triggered. When new response is submitted. So now let's see whether it sends the request to someone or not. Okay. So let me start. Okay. So I started testing the flow. I will go here. Okay. So this is not the link. This is edit option. So I will use the link what I copied here. Okay. This is what my employee ID. And this is what my leave request date. The reason is test form. And then I submitted. If you come here, no manager was found for the specified user, meaning the flow is triggered, right? Flow is triggered, but manager is not detected. This is odd, but this is the way you can get the manager details. It is fine. So in Office 365, no manager is set out for this account. That's why it is not showing. So instead of get manager, so get manager will get failed. I will remove that. And what I will do is I will send this request to myself, okay, for the testing purpose. Let me save and okay, again it is asking me to submit the another request. So I will say 10003 and the 24th is the request date and I will say test again. Okay, so how the approval is triggered, you can see. User will get notified, meaning the person who is going to approve, he will get notified by the email and even he will receive the notification on the Teams also. So you can see this is how the notification comes. So if I go to Team, okay, let me close that. And if I come to Microsoft Teams, so I have something called approval. Okay, if I click on this, so okay, if I click on this, there is something called approvals. So you can see this is how the list of approvals comes. Okay, this is what the requested. All these are already approved or rejected. This is fine, right? Now, if I select this, it will get an option to either select or either approve or reject or cancel request or follow up or reassign. So these options are available with you. You can reassign this to someone else or you can follow up or you can cancel the request as you want. So you can add the comments accordingly, and I'm going to say approved. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to say approved. Now the flow is approved. Still this step is waiting. Okay, and the moment it approved, you can see this has been finished the execution. Now output, you can see in the output, if you read approve or response, there is something called approve. Outcome is nothing but approve. Okay, name, title, everything is there. Each and every kind of details you will be able to find in the body section, right? So this is already a parsed data, so you need not to worried. So now you can use this outcome, whatever will be the outcome of this, in the conditional expression. So I will say control, I will say condition. Here I will give the condition, pick the data from previous step, and here is the outcome. If the outcome is equals to approve, right? Okay, so this is what my condition. If this condition is true, I may want to send an email. To whom? To a user or to the requester. How to get the email of requester? We already saw that. If I click on the dynamic content, get response, and here responder email. Right. Subject is the subject. Okay, so few more request. Okay, response approved tenant, date, response comment. No, I don't want to. Title of approval. Hmm. This is what the details I would like to add here. And I will say hi. Okay, let's see what the title returns. Hi, your leave request, your leave request for dated, and pick the date from previous step. So if I say get details, leave date is approved. Thanks. Okay. I don't want to use my name here. I will use webcam. Right. And done. Okay. So what you can do is you can add the statuses. So response, if I come, view response, and if I open the Excel, so you can add one more conditional column here. Initially, the status will be like hold. A default value you can add. Okay, and then you may want to update that value when the request is approved. So approved, if the request is rejected kind of things can be done. Okay, so what you can do is uh, you can add the action to update the row. You can select the parameters like this. So you get everything is each kind of option available there. Then I will select the file. So this is the employee leave request form. what will be the table name? So there is only one table, so you will get the table name directly here. So office forms dot table is the table name. If you want to select the key column name, so I will select employee ID and enter the key value. So this should come from, because you are going to update the data. So against which row you want to update the data, that is what defined by the employee ID parameter, right? So let's say save. So this is how you can do, but I'm not doing any kind of updation here. So what you want to update is like status. I can create a status column. So I will say reason for leave, and reason for leave will be the outcome of flow, right? So now you can see initially I will pass reason is test or something, but that will be meaning when the request is approved, that will be updated to approved. If the request is rejected, meaning say this is not approved, meaning else part will be the rejected, right? So I don't want to do that. So I will simply, okay, let me, so what we can do is we can copy the action, and even we can, I think, okay, action is copied, but action is copied, but how to paste, not sure. Okay, let's say send an email, select the action. I will say dynamic content, and to whom I would like to send an email, to the responder. Get response details. Okay, subject is nothing but form title, but form title is not coming here. Okay, not a form title, but title of the approval, right? And hi, you are your request for the leave dated, pick the date from the previous step data. Leave date is rejected or cancelled. Like this you can have. And I will say thanks, webcam. Right. Other parameters, if you want to define, you can define. Otherwise, I don't want to define that. Let me save the flow. This is sufficient. Okay. So what I did is, if the request is approved, I want to update the reason for leave to the approval status, right? So now I will say test. When I submit the form, the data will be updated automatically. So if I come to the employee leave, okay. Another thing is, let's say my employee ID is 0004. Leave date is, okay, tomorrow's date. And reason is, this reason will be updated after approval. So this value will be added in the Excel, but this will be changed when I'll approve the request. So this starts the flow execution. You can see the request is received. I will open that. I will say approve. Okay, you can notice the flow execution. Now, okay, update a row field. No row was found with the ID 1004. Oh, the reason for this is, even the response is there, but no row was found. It takes times to sync the data between online. Okay, online data. So if I show you here, here I can see what I submitted. Oh, why this data is not submitted? Okay, data is here, right? And automatically syncs with the changes in Microsoft Form. This is fine. So data is updated there, but the problem is that that data might not be updated, or it got updated. Okay, so let me close the Excel, and if I open the Excel here, data is there, but it need a time. Okay, so what I will do is it takes the time to sync. So what I will do is I will add wet. Okay, not a wet. There must be a something like delay. Okay, delay. If I select the delay, count. Specify the count of units to delay. Okay, so okay, unit and count. So it should delay the updation of data for 2 minutes. Okay, so this is what why I'm doing this, because this synchronization will take a time. And now let's save the form. Again, do a testing. Okay, you can see it is sending an email. Even I am receiving the email, leave request. This is what the employee ID. This is how the email will be triggered when the request is raised, meaning when the request is approved, right? So we will test on both the side. It's not like that we will test on the one side only. So let me say, okay, let me save this. I'm not sure. Okay, I made the, okay. So now let's submit the form. Again, I will say 1005. This is new. I will pick tomorrow date as a date, and comment will be check now. Okay, I'm not adding the much larger comment. So you can see flow will be triggered. Okay. So let's wait. No, do not approve this immediately, because this, okay, okay. We have a steps to update that row, but we need to wait. Okay, approvals, and let me say approve. This has been approved. Okay, right. So now if I come to the chart, nothing is there in my chart. Yes. So the email has been triggered. You can see the email has been triggered. Your request is approved. But what it will does, it will wait for 2 minutes. It will wait for 2 minutes to update a row. I would like to see the data. Okay. So this file is last, it was updated at 12:44. Let's wait and see. Or what we can do is we can go to the form responses. Not one response I have. I have a many responses. Form, view responses. And let me say, okay. Okay, so you will be able to see where is the 5 data. Okay, so 5 is added now at 12:46, right? And now this must this flow must be okay. This is add to update. So I cannot see the changes here in this file. 10% synced. This workbook is checking for any changes from the Microsoft Excel. Okay. So now this has been updated. Okay, the data is there. So we need not to worry about this step will get failed or how. Great. So this has been updated. Now you can see what will be the status. Here you see the status is changed, right? So you can create a separate column for the status. I use the reason for leave, and yes, this is fine. So we are able to update a file. So like this, you can perform the operations, right? Like this, you can perform the operations. Now let's edit the flow. I will click on this. So approval type is here. I selected as a basic, but if you select everyone must approve. So this will be the title, whatever will be the title assigned to, and you can assign this to many people. Okay. So I will say this should go to the this one. This should go to the this employee also. Okay, Deva is not there. Okay, or it is going to only two. Let me say Deva. Yeah, it is there. Okay, fine. So this is going to two peoples. Everyone must approve. Right. Rest of the details are fine. Then if you change this, wait for all responses, custom responses. So it allows you to add. Okay. The allowed responses for the action is like this: approve, add item, approved, cancel, delete. Okay. Approve, cancel, delete, reject. Like this, you can add customized options. I will save this. Okay. The trigger, meaning the here custom responses. I selected wait for all the responses. Again, many peoples can be added. Okay, so only two peoples are allowed, looks like. Okay, whatever. So this is fine. Right. And then say save. And if you run this flow, this approval will go to the two peoples, and if when both the peoples will approve, then only the flow will continue. Otherwise, this meaning this is not going to work with the single approval. But if you use this first to respond, this will work with the single approval. Meaning if out of two people or two more peoples, if one people responds, that flow execution will be completed. Approve, reject, everyone must approve. So it will wait for all the approve. So this is how it is. Both the options, these two and these two are same. Okay, these two and these two are same, but here by default you get options to, meaning the approve or reject type of kind. Here you can customize, right? Then there is something called a sequential approval. Okay, so approval step one, to whom it should go. Approval step two, assign 3. So like this, you can select the peoples, and then when first people approve, it will go to the second. If second approve, it will go to the third. Third, if third approves, it will go to the fourth. Like this approval works. Right. So this is all about creating the approval flow in Power Automate. So I hope this video makes sense to understand what is the approval flow in Power Automate, how to create, how to give the condition, how to use the previous step parameters, or how to use the values of forms, Microsoft Forms. So I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Please do not forget to subscribe webchamp and share the videos with your friends so that they can learn the technology easily. Thank you.